Good morning. I came across my old running shoes. I haven't worn them to run in a very long time, not since I had my knee surgery and my running days came to an end. Now I use them just simply for mowing the yard. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed running. I'm also surprised at how much I missed it as well. I was reluctant at first. It wasn't something that I really thought I would enjoy doing, but I really did once I got started. John Southwood and I used to go to the gym at First Baptist Church to work out in their exercise room. We did that a number of mornings a week, and then whenever weather was nice, we would go outside and walk on the green belt and just walk and talk, and we enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. Then one day, John said, "Why don't we start running?" Well, I wasn't so sure about that. I liked what we were doing. I didn't want to do anything else, anything different, but I sort of said, okay, let's give it a try. John had been a runner, so he knew exactly what to do, and he taught me what to do, from what it meant to how to warm up, to cool down, and then everything in between. One of the most important lessons that he taught me was about how to approach a hill, especially a steep hill. He said, you need to lean into it because that gives you a little momentum of your body moving forward. You also need to take small steps because that conserves some of your energy and helps you to keep going. You need to look down at the road in front of you instead of looking up at the top of the hill where the goal is, because if you look at the top of the hill and how far away it is, you'll be discouraged. And finally, you need to remember to breathe. Well, our goal was to run a 5K. We were going to do the spring sprint that was sponsored by the Parks and Rec Department here in Maryville. Now, on the week before the race, John suggested that we do a dry run, that we actually run the course. That way we can be familiar with it, and that sounded good to me. And then he said, let's meet our wives, Kim and Jane, at the end of that, and we'll all go out for breakfast. And it was a wonderful experience. We had a great time. Those kinds of practices, especially when we would do the 5K, morphed into what we called a donut run. And that is that at the end of the race or the end of the practice, we would make our way over to Krispy Kreme and we would buy a dozen donuts. As many of you know already, John died this weekend. He was surrounded by his family. They sang hymns and they read scripture. They shared memories and they prayed. I can't think of a better way to be ushered into heaven. Death right now seems to be a heavy cloud that is hanging over us, a pretty heavy cloud. Every day we are reminded about the number of deaths that are coming from the coronavirus around the world. That's one aspect of it. But then you begin to bring that a little bit closer to home, to our own circle of family and friends, and that dark cloud of death just rains sadness, overwhelming sadness on us. What do you do with your grief? Before all of this isolation started, we used to channel it into activity. We would prepare meals for people. We would sort of rally the troops. We would make visits. We would attend funerals. All of those things helped us to deal with the things the sadness that we were feeling, and it put it into a productive way to be able to channel it. But not now. We're left feeling helpless. We don't know what to do. Sometimes even hopeless. Definitely very much alone. So what do we do? Well, I believe we do the hard thing, and that is we simply keep going. We persevere. We lean into it. We take small steps. We look at the road that's right in front of us, whatever it is that's next, and we remember to breathe. And if we can do that, and in the process of that, we rediscover that God's mercies really are new every morning. And they're new tomorrow, and they're new the next morning and the next morning, over and over and over, and we rediscover that. I also believe that in the process we remember that Easter is just around the corner. It's just a couple of weeks off. And when Easter is here, those dark clouds begin to part, and the sun begins to shine through, and the earth quakes, and the tomb is found empty, and the power of resurrection dwells inside of us in such a way that brings us life and brings us hope. And we need that. We need that right now. May the power of God's resurrection, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, dwell in you today and just fill you with an abundance of hope. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.